Good morning, everyone. A few in the chat already, so thank you for joining in this morning. I'll switch over to my multi-stream so I can see everybody coming in. Okay, right. So yes, I'm running a special birthday stream today because I've just leveled up to level 39. So I'm running a 39% discount on my STL files for any special people who've got the code this month. There's a little chat command that you can drop in, which I've popped onto my Discord channel, on Facebook as well, and also I think Mike's dropped it into the Cult of Creativity chat group. So if you're in any of those groups, go and make sure you grab the code, fling it into the chat, and you'll get a little musical ensemble and a discount code as a reward. Right, so sculpting wise today, I'm just going to work on finishing up a bit of this character. This is Lucifer from the Crystal Collapse game we're working on with my mate Max. So excuse me. Okay, so this guy he's almost done. He needs a cape, but I've got to sort out a pose for him first. Once we've got him posed up, I'll do some tweaks to the sculpt and call it. I'm getting ready for printing. In about 45 minutes, an hour or so, I'm going to run a giveaway on stream as well. So I've got a set of the Mercenary Company miniatures, which if you give me a second, I'll pull them up and I'll show you what we're dealing with. Haley's been doing all the renders for me, so we should have the group. Yes, here we go. So it'll be these guys that will be on offer. So I've got a set of these. Is it ringing me? Excuse me. Let me just mute my phone. Okay, so these guys will be Rogue Trade. Thank you for the follow. These guys will be. They're all printed up, ready to go. I'm going to do these as a giveaway at about just shy of 12 o'clock. So if you're in here, then we're going to do a little giveaway where you pop a command into the chat stream, and yeah, you'll get a chance to win a set of these, which I'll pop in the post for you ASAP. And later on, I may do. Oh, thanks, Nigel. How are you doing? I hope you're keeping well, mate. So yeah, hopefully we can give away a second set later on as well. So I'll do quarter time at this afternoon. That will be. Let me just find them ones and I'll just show them off just in case you've not seen them. I'll do a group render of them. There you go. So these guys, set 5 of these. There'll be a giveaway much later on. No worries, Mike. You take your time on that. Make sure you ain't got any hard resin left in that vat before you reset it. I have done that before and I've killed a couple of print screens because of it. So, oh, nice. Very cool, mate. Very cool. Don't forget to get Gwen out of the Heroes of the Dale set as well. Like a nice panther on a tree stump. Okay. You got the bear on, have you? Or the lion? Right, let's get this guy started then. I'm gonna brilliant, mate, brilliant. Right, so I'm just gonna go and just update the colours on the trims on this guy. So I did the trim yesterday. I'm just gonna pick this yellow colour. I'm just gonna fill object with MRGB set. Oh, no, wrong piece. What am I doing? Right, here we go. It's this one. So I need to make sure I copy the left one to the right because I've got a difference on the two. Mirror and weld. Why is that not working? Oh. Right, mirror and weld that. Right, there we go. So this one needs to be filled now. Thank you, Blood Red Skull. You need to drop an exclamation mark at the beginning of that just to make sure that that triggers the command. So if you pop that one back in again, and just make sure your exclamation mark is at the start of the command. There you go. Has it worked? It hasn't done anything. It's played the tune, but it hasn't done the chat command. I've seen it in the Twitch stream though. Give me a second. Let me just have a look at this. I've definitely tested it, and it definitely worked. I'm not even sure how to find it now. Ah, there we go. Scroll up. Just make this work. I haven't hit start on the giveaway yet. Do I need to? The Happy Birthday Dan code, Mike, is the that's the one for the discount code. The giveaway is coming a little bit later on. That should have worked though. It worked when I tested it. This is me and my technical issues, but let's try it again. It's not working. That ain't very good, is it? Let's just try again. Sorry guys, keeping you hanging on while I'm while I'm faffing with a code. Okay, so Mike, there we go. Command menu. We've got a chat message in there. Then we've got the sound. The sound's playing fine, so it's triggering. For some reason, the chat message isn't kicking in. I'll say it's definitely worked once on test. I can see it in the chat further up. Tick sender streamer. Okay. Let's save that and try it again then. Legend Mike, thank you. What would I do without you? There you go guys, there's your 39% discount code for now. And another one, brilliant. Right, sound. Right, let's get stuck in on this one then. So, okay, so what I'm going to do on him now, I've got a little bit of polishing up to do just here on his legs. Let me just fill that bottom bit. Painted again. Thank you very much. What have you been painting? You been up to anything nice recently? What's been on your painting desk? So I'm just going to isolate my the trim bit here. I just need to come in and just do a little bit of polishing on it. So I'm going to do a little bit of shaping on this just to trim up the edge, neaten it up. And on the front bit here, I'm just going to use the cuts, the ore cracks. I'm just going to cut into it a touch, and that'll just help me to be able to use that as a polish kind of line. Oh, nice! I've seen that cafe whip miniature a few places actually. Where do we get it from? Are they still available, or are they? They were short in supply, weren't they? If I remember right. Reaper. Was it just like the resin ones or something that were short supply? Was it? Are they doing them in the bones material, or are they just doing it as a? I know I definitely saw something about the right. Right. So the UK ones come after the US. I suppose they're going to get through customs and everything, haven't they? Are Reaper using Siocast widely now, or are they? Is it like a specific set of the minis they're doing? Siocast seems to be getting everywhere lately. We were talking about whether or not it was a good idea to use it for the for this game, actually, for the Crystal Collapse one. My friend Chris from Cursed Empire, we had a little discussion about it for his miniature range. I think he's opted for doing like 3D printed rather than going Siocast because of the extra limitations of the moulding and whatever. But yeah, he very nearly pulled the trigger on buying a machine actually. I looked at it a few years back actually when it was just first coming to market. They came and approached me at UK Games Expo, and I was very tempted at the time. But retrospectively, I'm glad I didn't, because it'd have killed me. It'd have absolutely annihilated my time. As much as it would have been cool to have had, you know, a casting machine the size of a fridge in my workshop. But my time's better spent sculpting the models rather than trying to cast them now, so it's it was for the best, I think. It's one of those things you can get easily carried away with it, can't you? You know, when people come to you and they want to pitch something new and shiny, the temptation's always there to jump on the bandwagon and say yes, but okay. Just double check this against the main model now. Just want to make sure this is roughly even all the way up. Get some of these undulations and bumps out of the trim. Mike, did you ever manage to watch the stream of Thaddeus coming to fruit? Did you see him being born into the world, as it were? I suppose that bit happens on your printer, doesn't it? But so here we go. While we've got a few of you guys in the stream, I'll pick your brains on this one actually, because we're doing Crystal Collapse. We've been having a couple of chats about how to release it, and I'm thinking we go for a that needs to trim down. Oh, hi Pixie. Thank you very much. It was very nice, thank you. Lots of nice family time, which is always good. Wife took me out for breakfast, so we had a nice little breakfast out in Solihull Town Centre. I cannot knock that at all. Yeah, so what I wanted to pick your brains about, people, we're talking about this game going to market, Crystal Collapse. It's going to be a... John Joe, thanks for the like, mate. Hope you're keeping well, dude. We're doing this game. We're going to be putting it into production for a Kickstarter. We really want to do it as a physical product because I want to make sure people actually play the game. So we want it to be able to be used in like tournaments and things. And the more barriers people have got to actually picking the game up and playing it, the kind of less successful it will be. Like longer term, even if we manage to sell a huge number of units through the Kickstarter. So print and play was an option, but I feel that that's going to be detrimental to like longer term success. So we're talking about like a physical box offering, but we're talking separating the miniatures out into a secondary box, and that may open us up to being able to do STL sales as well. So we can offer them as a ready to go product, but also as STLs. And I just wanted to know if basically if it was not sold as STLs, would that put people off? Would you be less likely to buy into a game where everything's provided for you, or would you be more interested in getting something that's actually, you know, you've got the option to print it at home, or you can only purchase a physical product? Because it's a big question mark on the project at the moment, and obviously it's going to determine how quickly we can get it to launch as well. Anybody got any ideas? Want to chip in? Any thoughts on that? I'll put it on a poll somewhere anyway eventually, but it's what was a few people lurking in the chat. If anybody wants to pipe up and I think I've got that roughly about even all the way around now. There we go. Okay, so I need to duplicate that. The foot's fine. I need to bring this bit of armour out there. So let's just click on that, remove it from the trim. Just reshape it a touch. Okay, and then I need a couple of spikes going in. So I'm going to get my little spike tool, which is in my brush menu. Details, there we go. Guys, I'm just going to quickly just disable my microphone because I'm going to pour a cup of coffee in a second, and it will deafen you all. It's right next to the speaker, right next to the microphone. So I am still with you. Just bear with me 1 second. And I'm back. Right. Yeah, painterly. I mean, that was kind of what I was thinking people would. Was kind of where I was hoping people would go. So my thinking is, obviously, we want people to play this game as like a tournament thing, and if we sell 5,000 copies of the game on a Kickstarter, but it's a print on demand, everything's printed. We've always got this issue that you're not going to necessarily have 5,000 people that bought the game play the game. Whereas if we present a physical product in front of people, they can just get on with it and just do it. Do you know what I mean? And that's kind of the driver for this. I want people to actually play the game. I want people to hang on a second. Let me just sort something out. I want people to actually be enjoying it and kind of talking about it, and selling it to other people and helping us to kind of spread word on it. So I'll just turn my lights on because I've forgotten to do it. But yeah, let's say selling them as an STL file, because we also did talk about doing the STL files as what do we call it now? Yeah, so the scale of the miniatures is going to be 40mm, and we're saying obviously if we do the STL files, we can allow people to scale it down to like 28mm or 32mm, and use them in D&D games, so the models will be consistent with their actual stuff. But obviously for the game itself, we want things to be 40mm scale, because it looks a little bit more imposing and impressive on the tabletop. Yeah, we are actually going to be selling the models as a separate pack. So the plan was we're going to have the game box, which will be, don't know, say it's like a $40 box or something like that. That's got all of the rules, the boards, the cards, the dice, all of that kind of stuff, and then it'll have like meeple stand-ins, like little cardboard proxies for the characters. So you can play everything just using a cardboard and paper box. And then we'll have a separate miniatures box. So if people only want the minis, you don't have to spend the 40 quid on the box game. You can just get the models for it. So yeah, 40mm is really nice. I did. I don't know if I've got her on my desk here. I did this one for Jazza at Tabletop Time. So it's really blurry on the picture there, I think, but it's Hypatia from the. Can't remember what the game's called now. The tabletop game they're doing. But yeah, so basically, this is the first 40mm scale model I've sculpted, and I really enjoyed it, and I really like the look of it on the table and the feel of it in my hand. So, whilst I can't upscale all my D&D stuff to 40mm, when we're doing a completely new IP with an independent game system and everything else, there's literally nothing stopping us there. So I think 40mm is the way to go for unique IP. But like I say, if we get a D&D module created as well that can like echo the Crystal Collapse story and world and whatever else into a D&D campaign, people are going to want to use their D&D stuff with it, and 40mm miniatures aren't going to cut the mustard there. They're going to have to be like smaller scale. So give them the digital files, and they've got the option then. Or alternatively, we rescale everything and we sell physical copies of 28mm, 32mm scale. Well, it'd be 32mm because that's what the rest of my stuff is. But yeah, it's just options, isn't it? It's just how we play it. Okay, so I need a pose for this guy. Now, talking to Max, I'm thinking something fairly similar to the pose we've got here. This guy is like a crazy big bad evil guy. So I'm going to have a little mooch for a couple of BBEG poses, and we'll see what kind of stuff comes up, if anything catches my eye. I want him to be quite dynamic, but not, I don't want him to be unstable. I mean, he's unhinged, but I want him to still stand on his own feet. Wilkie, morning. Thanks for joining. Are you burning the midnight oil again? Right, let's do a no worries, Painterly. You have a good day too. If you're about in if you're able to pop back in half an hour, we're running that giveaway. If you want to kind of jump in and get on. Painterly, you are a gem. Thank you for the gifting. Okay. Very nice, Wilkie. Painterly, you're a gem, mate. You're welcome back anytime. Enjoy the rest of your day, dude. Right, so this I want to get rid of that menu at the top. So next thing I've got to do on this one, to be able to get this guy posed, I don't want to touch this version of the model. This version I've got to come back to at some point, and I've got to apply better topology to, so it can be animated, ready for a later project, which I know Wilkie's keen on seeing. So I've got my 100mm ruler and base in the scenes. Oops. These are the things that I use for scale references. So there's a 25mm base there. So this base I use for scaling, so it's for posing the models. So this is the same size and scale as a standard 25mm miniatures base. Max, good morning. You've wrapped up with your meeting now. You come to see Lucifer taking shape. Right, so the base is for posing purposes, to make sure that it doesn't overstep the bounds of like a normal miniature base. Then we've got the ruler is 100mm top to bottom, and that is the definite scale of everything in this scene. So everything else that goes into this scene, any other miniatures I put in, will always be relative to the height of this ruler. So I don't have to worry about scaling this guy on his own independently, as long as he lines up and stands up against this ruler and this base. So you can just eyeball things and the scale kind of just falls into place. So you can see if I move the ruler up, we've got 10, 20, 30, 40mm there. So he's actually a little bit too small according to this. So I just need to bring, sorry, the ruler's too small. I'll bring this down so that the ruler starts at the bottom of his foot, and the 40mm mark there is at his eye line. So that is that's correctly scaled now. Mike Max, who's just in the chat there, that is the chap who's the game designer for Crystal Collapse. So he's a very, very clever and talented game designer. He's just been dealing with a bit of nanolith work this morning, and now he's come to join the stream and see a little bit of Lucifer taking shape. If anybody's interested in nanolith, by the way, I believe Max can set the story straight on this one, but I believe they're about ready to go to a late pledge and pledge manager. So if you missed out on nanolith the first time round and Cyberpunk's your jam, then check it out online anyway. Have a check on the Kickstarter. Max, if you want to fling a link into the chat, you feel free, mate. It's a pleasure. I had an absolutely adorable message from Max yesterday morning as well, where him and his little girl sang happy birthday to me in German and in English. It absolutely started my day off the right way. Okay, so now that I've got the ruler and the base in the scene, I need to now merge visible, and this is basically going to take everything that is in the scene right now, all of the model, the ruler and everything else. It's going to create a separate tool with it, and it's just going to kind of lock it all down for me. So I'm going to split the ruler and the base, so I don't need them in this for posing. I'll just hide that. I just need them there for when we export the file, so it's ready scaled. And let's just put my polygroups on. So all the nice colour I've applied is just gone. And we're now dealing with something quite trippy. Great stuff, Max. Okay, so let's get this guy posed. Now, Max will probably tell you the character here is based on, if anybody played the old Sakaiden game, which I think was it on PS1, was it? He's based loosely on the Mad King from Sakaiden. Luca, I think his name was, wasn't it? So I was going to scroll back through our chat, Max, and see what the reference images were we used to determine this guy's pose. Right, I think I'm gonna stick fairly close to the artwork. I think for the illustration, just because it looks quite cool. But I may give him a crystal in his hand, if that's alright by you, mate. So, maybe give him a slightly, not a wider stance, but if I move one leg back a touch. What happened there? Right, let me just auto group this, because I've got a lot of pieces sharing polygroups, which isn't good. Right, so I'm just going to pick the parts I want. So I'm just isolating the bits I want to isolate. I want to move next. Oops. Right, now you can see here there's a few weird loose polygroups. I'm going to sort them out later. I'm not going to worry about them right now, because there may be more elsewhere in the model if there's a few there. Okay, so let's paste. Paste mask, sorry. I was going to invert the mask here. I was going to mask this leg off, and then I want to just take that top bit off, and I just want to bring it around here. I just want that part of the leg left available. In fact, that needs to stay as is as well. Okay, so I'm going to bring this leg backwards a touch. Oops, dear. We go backwards, we're going to go out. What's going on there? Backwards, out, and rotate a touch. Thank you. Yeah, the Sakaiden games were ace, weren't they, Wilkie? The 100 odd characters you could go and collect and build your team with. I always love that mechanic in there. I've just realised I've got something squiff going on here. I just need to address. Just got to shunt these up a bit. No, wrong tool. trim down the trim on the boots, like lower than the actual level of the armour trim, the actual armour plates. So I just need to do a little bit of minor nudging just to make them line in again. Okay, so feet are in place. Yeah, Star Ocean was ace. What was there was a PS2 Star Ocean game that they've recently redone on Steam, and I keep being tempted to get it, but I just know I'm not going to have time to play it, so I've bowed out for now. Position this foot. So what I'm going to do is bring it down so it's on this line. I'm going to use the line at the bottom of the screen, which you can barely see, just as a flat plane, just to kind of see what I'm doing. And I want to just bring this foot round so that it falls flat. There we go. A little bit of pink at the top I'm just going to drag back and just nudge back into the leg. And now I just need to do the same with this foot so it falls flat again. Again, I can line this up with the ankle joint, so if I go into a front view, a side view, I can position it so it falls at the ankle. I think I'm going to tilt his foot down this time. And I just need to bring his toe up a touch. Let's try and avoid this spike on his toe so he doesn't impale his own foot. Double tap on the thing just to soften the mask. Oh, Grandia. Grandia I love. Final Fantasy IV is a soft spot for me. I love Final Fantasy VI, but Final Fantasy IV was my very first ever introduction into the series. So it's got a very special place for me, not nice. Final Fantasy VI as a game just kind of took 4 to another level. Okay, right. So legs are posed. I'm going to turn the torso a touch. So I'm not actually going to turn the torso. I'm going to rotate all the legs because it's easier, and it means that I've still got a bit of symmetry if I need it on the upper body. So I'm just going to drop this into the middle here, and I'm just going to turn like that, just a touch. Then I need to worry about these armour plates. Yeah, Wilkie, I will be happy to take you up on that, the offer of assistance. When we get to that stage, absolutely, definitely. yeah, Max works on a lot of other projects as well, so if there's anything we can kind of collaborate on, we'll give you a shout and let you know. Right, let's get this armour in place. I'm not too fussed about these little overlaps here, because they can be hidden. Just use the move tool, just nudge the legs into place a little bit. Nudge, nudge, nudge. We're going to put Excalibur in this hand here. So the one with the pink shoulder pad. I'm just going to take the pink shoulder pad, isolate all the components of the arm and the hand, and etc, etc, etc. So this guy now in game, Max has tweaked the rules now. So this guy is a very nasty character, and he literally drains the power from the enemies who are nearby. So my biggest concern with him before was that he was a character that he was too friendly in game. So he was there to like buff and assist the other members of his own team. Thematically, game-wise, that didn't kind of feel right. So Max went back with his rules. It was also a little bit too kind of like not scary enough that you wouldn't want to go and like go toe to toe with him. So Max redressed the rules on him and basically now made him so that he is vicious and horrible. And he will, if you're still like near him at the end of the turn and you're the enemy, he'll just drain your life out of you. Basically, you'll drain your magic powers and stuff. So, Max, he does, mate. I've got his details on an email, so I'll forward all that over to you later on. So, just you don't have to pop it in the chat in here. Okay, let's just take the shoulder pad, isolate that a second. So I want that to not move too much now. Just going to rotate the shoulder so the arm is facing outwards. And let's get this sword in place so we can use that as a placeholder. That's a placeholder. It is the final piece. It's not a placeholder. But I can put it in place and I can use it for like wrapping the hand, so the hand closes in. Because I've left the hand in segments on this one, so there's the finger joints are all separated, the armour pieces are all separated, so it should be quite easy to get a nice pose going on. So we'll bring it into the hand. I'm just going to position this further back into the handle. That there. So that should be roughly where his hand is. And let's see, let's point it further down to the floor so it touches the ground. Upper touch, there we go. And maybe rotate it this way a bit. Okay, right, there we go. So that is the position of his hand. Let's send a quick message to the wife. okay. I'll get you some set up, mate. We'll get you a set of them ready. I'll print them off ready for you. And get Simon on the painting. That's just gonna pick the hands. I always hate doing this bit actually. Tabletop Gaming, welcome to the chat. Glad you're enjoying the models. Unfortunately for this particular guy, you're going to be waiting a little bit because he's not going to be coming to the tabletop until about, we're aiming for Easter 2023. So, oops, stretch them down like that. So he's got to reposition his hand. Still may have to reposition the sword yet, but let's just let's let it auto save first before I try and do anything. Right. I think I need to move the sword up a bit. So let's just lock out the handle and everything else again. I'm just going to group this all together because I know, oops, I know it's going to be. I'm going to have to isolate it probably a few more times before it's finished. So if I just group it all together, I can just isolate it with a click, a single click now, and move it around as I need to. So let's just position it so its handle is in the palm of the hand, just like that. Hey, no worries, mate. Tell her thank you again for my my birthday song yesterday. And I'll catch up with you in a bit, mate. Yeah, I was chatting to Max just before the stream. Actually, we're going to look at. We've got a few tweaks we need to do on the Crystal Collapse rules. Mostly combo stuff, I think, if I remember rightly. But the stuff we've got to like tweak and change. Once we've tested it and we made sure it's okay, we're going to plan in a live stream where we're going to do some like live gameplay for you all, and then you'll be able to see the game firsthand then. It'll be exciting times because we're going to invite you all to come and join us as well, to be able to kind of join in on the playtesting. What's going on here? I seem to have lost a fingertip for some reason. Let's just delete it because I don't need it. Right, so let's just take this finger joint. Oops. So unlock my widget, bring it around, just rotate it around so I can use this red line as the rotating guide. Right, I'm going to set up this giveaway now. We'll get it running. We'll give you 10 minutes to get 10 minutes to get them in. So let's see if I can figure it out without completely ballsing it up. Okay, so giveaways. So again, the giveaway this time is for the Mercenary Company set, which if you didn't see it before, it's these guys. Pessis, thank you, welcome, good morning. So we're just literally just about to do a giveaway now. It's this set of 7 models, which is the Mercenary Company, 32mm scale, printed in resin. Nice high quality, high detail minis. Let me just get you my painted ones to show you off, so you can see what you're getting. You obviously won't be getting the painted ones, it'll just be bare resin, but I do have a nice photograph of these guys fully painted, which I did back last year, I think, beginning of this year. Just gotta try and remember where I put the pictures. Here we go. There you go. So this is the guys. These are the ones I've painted already. So these ones live in my display cabinet. So if you need any inspiration, so you'll get a set of these. They'll come with MDF bases, so you have to put a bit of texturing and stuff on them yourself. But obviously that's a fairly straightforward and simple thing to do. But they're all boxed up and ready to rock. So we're going to run the giveaway, and I'm going to start it now. All you've got to do is pop the word, is it claim, into the chat. Thank you. I like the blue myself. I was going to do in red, but I'm colourblind and red really doesn't go well with me. So, right, I think it's exclamation mark claim. Okay, Painterly, just in the nick of time, mate. Thank you, guys. Right, so giveaway is starting now. So exclamation mark claim. It could also be exclamation mark win. So you might want to try one or two of them. So yeah, you just type into the chat exclamation mark win or exclamation mark claim. One of them will work, hopefully. Fingers crossed. Is it doing anything? I can't tell. Mike, you still here, or have you dipped off for your own stream now? Doesn't look like it's working, does it? Let me see if I've done anything wrong. I probably have. Let's just stop that giveaway a second. Right. Doesn't seem to be doing anything. Mike, any ideas? To run for 10 minutes. Reminder at 5 minutes, 1 entry per person. Command is win. Hut Armories, welcome to the stream. Thanks for joining in. Adeline, thank you. Thank you very much. Thanks for joining. What have I done, Mike? Or what haven't I done? Start the giveaway. I had started it when I set it going before, by the way, so it was running, but it just wasn't actually didn't actually trigger. So the start button's running now, so it should be live, but it doesn't appear to be. Make the mix it up bigger. What's that? War Master Shaki, thank you for the follow. It just says it's running and there's no winner yet. So, anybody want to try exclamation mark claim or exclamation mark win? Greetings to Malaysia and from the UK. Yeah, see, nothing's happening here. It's okay. Cancel. So I'll take the require claim out of there. It was running. It wasn't actually taking anybody's. So nobody who put anything in there is actually in the giveaway. Oh, Wilkie, it's paused at the moment, mate. Give us a sec. Let's try and get this up and running. Oh, did they? Didn't even clock that. Sorry, guys. Edit the start reminder. Is that here? Let's just put a. Put a chat message in there saying go. Yeah, it should be in the chat. Should we just go for start and see? Yeah, you only have to type it into the chat. That should be all that's needed. Let's go for it. Let's start and we'll see. Right, it's running now. I'll leave it on screen there. We can see entries going in. Hopefully, oh, there we go. It's working. Exclamation mark win. Bear with me 1 second, guys. It's gonna mute them. Right, guys, it's definitely working now, so I'm going to leave it running for a little bit. We've got 9 minutes on the timer now, and then it'll do the winner. So exclamation mark win to join in, and you got a chance to get a set of these guys for yourself. I'll get them packaged up and shipped off to you ASAP. And later on, I'm going to be doing the quarter time mat giveaway. So the quarter time mat, let me just nerf these guys off and I'll show you those guys as well. So I'm going to be running that one about 1:30. I don't know if I've got them painted or if I must have them painted somewhere. I know I've got them painted on my desk, but that's no good because I haven't got a photograph of them. I'll just show you the render. Render composite, group renders, quarter time out. There we go. So quarter time out, 5 guys. Okay, cheers, Mike. I've got five people have entered apparently at the moment. So if anybody hasn't done it, if you've done it previously, chuck in the exclamation mark win again, just to make sure that your entry goes into the competition. The timer is still running on it, so it's still definitely happening. Thank you, Painterly. Yeah, I was quite pleased with these guys. They've got the kind of like a ninja assassin type look. When I painted them, I did each of them with a different tie mat head coloured mask. So we've got the main guy in the middle, Altis. He's got a white mask. And then one of them's got black, one's got blue, one's got green, and one's got red. And then they kind of reminded me of somewhere between the Power Rangers or Ninja Turtles. So, but they look, they come out really nice, like in mini kind of thing. So yeah, they are a bit like the. Is it the old? Was it the Corsairs or the? I can't remember which ones it was now. They had a similar kind of thing going on there, didn't they? Yeah, like I say, quite ninja assassin-y kind of looking guys. So if you need anything for, if you got any need for these guys, we'll put them up as the the thingy later. Now, also, the 39% code is available, so if anybody wants to drop the Happy Birthday Dan tag into the chat, you'll get the discount code and the link to go and pick them all up. And everything you're seeing here is all on the web store anyway. So if you want the STL files for them, they're all available there. Okay, 6 more minutes on the chat, so I'm just going to carry on posing the fingers while the not the chat, sorry. 6 more minutes on the giveaway. I'm just going to go and pose up the fingers around the hand here to close them in. So I'm just going to take that. I'm just going to mask off a digit or a joint. Lock out that piece of armour. There we go. Thank you, Painterly. So if you grab that code, you can go and pick up anything from my STL store with a 39% discount. One of the other things that's worth mentioning on this one as well, oh yes, and again. Now the other thing is as well, I've applied that discount code to pledges that are on things. So if you have a look on the store, you will actually see the Kingdom of Telarius. If anybody's not familiar with my Kingdom of Telarius stuff, I'm just going to pull a bit up on the screen for you. You can actually get the entire army at a discounted rate, so you can get the 39% off on the things. Right, so that's 5 minutes down, I think. So let me just grab the My Manufacturer link. Now I won't be using My Manufacturer as a kind of a go-to for very much longer, because we're about to launch our own website. So we're going to be using that as our primary source for sales. So if you go into it was right in the first place. So if we go to my Manufacturer store, and we go to, you've got store at the top, but you've also got a campaigns tab. If we go into the campaigns tab, you've got the Kingdom of Telarius campaign, and you've got the Telarian painters, which is basically all of like the hero characters. We've got the core army, which is like a smallish. I say smallish. It's still fairly hefty. There's still a decent amount of stuff in there, and then we've got the complete army, which is 152 miniatures in the complete army, including the big Ifrit sculpt. And then we've also got a commercial license available for it, so if you want to sell prints, there you go. You've got Ifrit in there, you've got the various different units as well, as add-ons at the bottom. So any of those guys, they are also included in this 39% discount. So if you click them, do you only get the bases like me? Not sure what you mean, Mike. Can you only see bases if you click in? Oh, is it just the base images? No, I'll tell you what it is, Mike. There's a, you should be able to. Oh, it's My Manufacturer being awful, is what it is. The bases are the last things loaded up. So if you use the back arrow, click, 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 you're going to go through every single base image that was ever uploaded. And there should have been thousands of other images on there, but for some reason it's only showing the one from this product. Why is that like that? That's not very good, is it? Yeah, I don't know why it's doing that. If you include 35 products, it should show you 35 products, but let's go and see. Yeah, it's only showing you the bases. So this is why I'm dropping My Manufacturing. Apologies for that, guys. You do actually get everything that's listed, though. Everything that's in that picture is included in the thing. All the products are definitely there because I put them there myself. Yeah, My Manufacturer, they're not great with technical stuff lately. They've let me down a few times, and yeah, it's pretty awful, to be honest. I'll show you a couple of the things we have got though. So let me get some of the. I don't know if I've got the renders from all now. will. Yes, I know. It's alright. It took me a while to remember, but I have got them. There. Okay, so that's some of the images we had for the Kickstarter then. So we've got the archers here. So these are the Talarian archers. These are a unit of lightly armed guys with the bows, some hoods up, some helmets on, some helmets off. All of the races that were included in the Talarian army, they are a mixture of human, elf, half-orc, and like beast folk, like cat men kind of thing, like the guy at the front in the middle. We've got Cain, or Abel I'm calling him. He's my version of Cain from Final Fantasy IV, the Dragoon. We've got Cedric, which is my version of Cecil the Paladin. Grandmaster Kang, which is Yang from Final Fantasy IV. Then we've got the archers again. We've got the Rockabo Riders. So if anybody's a big Final Fantasy fan, you'll recognise these guys straight out of the check the giveaway. Is it running still? Is it ended? Oh right, giveaway has ended, and Rogue Trader is the winner. So Rogue Trader, congratulations, well done. I'm going to have to pick up some details off you afterwards, so if you want to ping me a message later on. What's that? So yeah, Rogue Trader, if you want to ping me a message offline with your address and everything else, and I'll get them packaged up for you. Let's try and see if I can send you a message on here. It's not letting me. Yeah, Rogue Trader, send me a message. dan@ltminis.com on an email if all else fails. Let me just pop that in the chat. There we go. Ping me a message with your postal address, and I'll get them packaged up and sent out for you. So congratulations, and then later on we'll do the Cult of Tiamat giveaway. So yeah, back to the models on screen. So again, including the Talarian army, you've got the light cavalry. We've got Rosa. She's got a little chocobo plush on her belt. We've got Lydia, who's my summoner. We've got the two little child twin mages, Pandy and Portia. We've got Cain again, Cecil. We've got Sid, the dwarfen engineer. Dude, you're lurking, but you entered, so we just need more people to enter next time. I think there was about eight people dropped the entry in on this one, so hopefully by the time we get later on, if Mike's finished his stream, if he wants to dump a raid in here, we can have a load more people in with a good chance of winning. Yeah, light infantry have got an ogre, so the ogre's part of the offering as well. You got the captain of the Order of the Behemoth, so there's an ogre knights. We've got the light cavalry again, an injured light infantryman, some halberdiers for you, a few more of them, some light infantry warriors with the sword and shield. We've got some outriders. There's a little Moogle as a plush on somebody's belt, and it's actually in my collection of parts. So if you're a Patreon subscriber, you get the component library. And in my component library, there's a Cactuar, a Moogle, a Tonberry, and a White Mage Chocobo as little plushes. we've got the Outriders. So these guys are like mounted with rifles and like kind of ranger packs. There's a set of them together. We've got the King with the little dragon on his shoulder. We've got a captain of the King's Guard. We've got another captain and another one. We've got a couple of war mages. The Outriders again, more war mages. We've got more King's Guard with great swords. King's Guard with sword and shield, and King's Guard glaive guard. We've got some warrior monks. We've got an elf, a tiefling, beastman, half orc and human. Then we've got the dragoons, the Order of the Dragon. So these have got your they've got like dragon cloaks. They've got big spears. Very nice minis. The light infantry again. Order of the Behemoth, some berserker ogre knights. Some halberdiers. This is the smaller version of the army, so this is the core army. And that is all I've got in here. Where's my Ifrit? Let me go find Ifrit for you. The bear's showing off. I think he wasn't ready actually for the campaign. This is him on the printer. Comes off in one big piece like that. It's a nice big unit of a model. And let me just show. Oops. Let me just go back again. I've gone too far. No worries. Have fun with the postman. Hope you make it alright. We're just starting to do like the post where they collect it from your house kind of thing, so they can come and get it from us rather than us having to take it to them. It makes life a lot easier. Come on, you frick, you let me down. Do you know what, I'll come back to it later. Let's get on some sculpting. So yeah, just wanted to let you know anyway that these guys are all in the they're all in the run for the discount code anyway. So you can pick up a whole army for, it's like $65 I think it is, plus your 39% discount, so, or minus your 35% discount rather. Right, so just pulling the fingers around the sword handle at the moment. Take that and just take the fingertip out. Hut, thank you for the follow. Okay, so I'm just going to take, oops, doing it again, there we go, it's right now. I'm going to delete this digit that doesn't need to be there anymore. What I've done is I've created the glove, I've made the glove and then I've skinned it over the hands, but I've left all the digits inside the hand, so raid away whenever you're ready, Hut. It's always welcome. I'll give you a follow back later on as well. Let's see what you're up to. So what kind of things are you doing then usually then? You painting models, or are you sculpting models, or D&Ding? What's your jam? Oh, very nice. Armorsmith and leatherworker. I do love that kind of thing actually. There's a mate of mine called Jez who does he does all that kind of stuff. And he made me I had a really nice kind of satchel bag from him. He's done my dice bag actually, is that? I've got that down there. Got to be somewhere. He did me a really nice dice bag anyway, so let's see if I've got it down in my office at the moment. Could be up in the house in my game room, but let's get this thing going on. Just going to bring the finger around. I always find like a lot of what I end up doing is like armour design. And it's quite tricky to get your head around sometimes, so kudos to you for doing it, like, you know, as a thing. A full steel cosplayer dragon, wow, that's that sounds impressive. Ah, cuck. What's going on here? Okay, something's gone wrong, so let me just sort this out. I appear to have pulled the finger and the claw through the back of the hand. Just got to redo it. Let's position it line and through. Isolate that piece and mask off the finger. So when you say somebody else's armour design, you mean, is that the armour design from the game that is like, is flawed, is it? Because I find this a lot of the time. A lot of the like game designers and artists, when they're designing stuff, they do like this rule of cool type thing that doesn't then lead to actual like usable gear. So I always try and think about when I'm building armor and I'm designing kind of like the gear for characters. I always try and feel like how the armour's like fixed on, where the straps are, where the mounting points are, because obviously I've got to pose these guys, and I've got to try and realise how the armour is attached to them. So I use a lot of historical reference for the armours to make sure I've got, like, you know, straps where straps are needed, bolts where bolts are needed, rivets and all that kind of business. And I'd like to see more people doing it, because it's frustrating sometimes when you get that. You know, you get a piece of artwork through that you've got to copy and follow for a client or whatever, and they just haven't got that that usability in there. Well, I've got these bits of armour. Yeah, that was it. There was one. Again, it was one I did for Chris at Cursed Empire, and the artwork's beautiful. It's really, really nice. But the guy, when he drew it, he just drew it all kind of like spiky and everything else. And what it was supposed to be like an elven warrior, a wild elf warrior. Yeah, I bet they are. This guy had like spikes like sticking outwards, like here from like the centre of the breastplate. He has spikes coming out this way. And I said to him, I said, if he ever moves his arm forwards like this, he's basically going to impale himself all the way through. And this thing that was over his shoulder, it was like an American football armour pad. And it looked like it'd just be flapping around all over the place. So when I actually sculpted it, I had to refine and redesign some of the spikes and reshape the armour plate so I could actually get that freedom of movement in there to make him look like he was an agile warrior. And also added a few straps to go down and round, so it'd like hold it in place, so there was something kind of anchoring it. So yeah, sometimes I do end up changing designs from what the client supplies, but only in the name of making things a bit more realistic and a bit more usable. So sleeves up the main business then. Yeah, I suppose that's the difference, isn't it? If you're wearing stuff that you're gonna get hit in, you've got to make sure it's going to take a blow and not injure you in the process. Whereas with the cosplay stuff, it's just walk around and look cool and have your photo taken. So I need to invert my masks here because I've fluffed this a bit. Why are they still masked off? You're not a fan of the boob armour then? I'll be honest, the only time that's ever a good idea in a miniature is if you really need it to like be visibly female. I did some paladin models a while back, and by the time I'd fully laden them up with gear and stuff, it was only the physical build that that showed you it was a female, because the armour was identical. I'd left the breastplates the same and everything. And some people like it and other people kind of complain about it, because when you're dealing with miniatures, they're going to be you know, much smaller because they're on a tabletop. You need that visual read from like a 2-3 foot distance, and that can be quite it can be quite difficult to read female from that range if you haven't got things like boobs to reference. So yeah, I think there's a place for it to a point, but like I say, you'd never do it in a practical combat scenario. But it is definitely a consideration for like making minis, that when you've got to do that kind of thing. Let's just isolate that one piece. I mean, even these gloves here now, they're not the whole gauntlet is like, it's going to end up getting you stabbed, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? Like the whole hand is like spiky as anything. It's just going to cause a problem. And it's just, I have got a load of weird stuff going on here with like artifacts and things, so I'm going to be cleaning that up afterwards. I've got like finger digits that are like merging in and stuff like that, so I just need to do a bit of correction. Yeah, these massive, great big spiky talons on the hand. He's going to stab himself in the palm in a second, I think. So let's just drag this down, reposition this finger, come up a bit too high. Let's just position that round. Right, so this is manky as anything at the moment, so let's just get some clean up going on here. I'm just going to inflate the underside of the fingers, because this will give me a bit more of a solid mass to work with. There's some nudges down. A lot of these bits are digits that they weren't selected from underneath the thing before. Right, I've got something weird going on with the sword, so I need to sort that out in a minute. But so some of this hand that is underneath the glove I just need to remove because it's just getting in the way. So let's just delete that bit. Okay, I've managed to do something weird with the sword, so I'm just going to have to take the sword from the original one, I think. What I'll do is I'll just delete that sword for now. What's going on in the chat a little bit, let's get back onto that. So, Rogue Trader, it's a thing in fencing, blue plate. I'll have to look into that, I've not seen it really, but is that because it's more like padded, so it's not it's padded in like points, isn't it? So you're not taking like a slam with a hammer or anything like that. How'd you get on wearing like big heavy sets and stuff when you've got to wear them for like a long period of time? I imagine it's going to really wear you down. You must be built like an ox. There was some experiments, weren't there, that were done on certain YouTube channels and stuff where they tested boot plate for like impact resistance and stuff. So right, fair enough. Yeah, and I suppose if you're used to wearing it, it's one of these things that you're talking about in like D&D, isn't it? And like in games where you're talking about like proficiency with armor. So I always think if you find a set of heavy armor and you just stick it on and just get playing with it, or get using it and wearing it, whatever, you know, you shouldn't be able to kind of just do that, because you're not really gonna. If you've only ever worn clothes and then suddenly you stick on a suit of armor, it's going to slow you down and hinder your movement and stuff. So there's got to be an element of like that, you know, in the games. And again, if you do get somebody who's used to wearing that kind of armour in the game, they're not going to be slowed by it, they're not going to be, you know, hindered as much. So it's rationalising the equipment choices, isn't it, and how they look on the models. Okay, so some fine tuning to do on the finger armour here, so let's just bring that piece in and up. It's going to be easier if I just isolate the hand, I think, because the legs are getting in the way. The arms, the armour here is all getting in the way now. I'm just going to split that off because I want to put it on a separate tool for now, so I can just turn it back on when I need it. But for right now, that is an atrocious mess. Let's just sort that out. this is basically just turned itself inside out. So I'm just going to inflate it. I'm just going to reshape some of this. It's my fault for the way I did the positioning on it. So let's sort that out. Let's make sure this piece overlaps like it should do. This piece falls in line. So these, these pieces should have like a flat end really. Now I shouldn't be worrying too much about this because this is going to be such a small detail on the end model that it's going to be barely even noticeable. So what I want to do here, I want to make sure the knuckles are visible. So I'm just going to use the inflate tool. I'm just going to bump up the knuckles in between. I just realised I'm on Twitch chat, not multi-stream chat. So if anybody's on Facebook commenting, I do apologise. I've been missing any comments. John. No worries, mate. Always happy to talk 3D printers. And Kyle, apologies, mate. I had that whole discussion and ignored you entirely because I didn't even see that you were there. So I do apologise. Hope you're keeping well. No big changes for you lately, so wishing you all the best, mate. Yeah, so let's come back and have a little chat. So just picking up Kyle's comments from Facebook. Back to the old Crystal Collapse game. The plan, I think, is we want to do regular, or fairly regular kind of expansion packs. So in a similar line to what Corvus Belly do with Infinity. That's where we want to kind of take it. So we'll have the what do you call it? We'll have the releases coming out fairly frequently with like new expansion packs, with like new miniature sets. So the initial box set will have 2 factions of 4 models apiece, plus 2 limited edition exclusive like mercenary characters or something in that box. And then that'll be the initial core game offering. Then we'll go on and do the next like run of stuff where we'll do a different campaign scenario with a couple of different factions, or we'll expand on one of the factions that we've already included, a couple of extra mercenary exclusive miniatures in that box set, and release that as a subsequent pack. And obviously if you've already got the core game and you only need the miniatures, you'll be able to kind of get the campaign book as a separate thing rather than having to buy the whole box. So you don't necessarily want like a million sets of cards and dice and stuff just because you're doing the things. So we'll have options for those kind of things, and then we'll have like expansion packs where we'll add a little bit like Warhammer Fantasy did when they had the Winds of Magic as an expansion, where you'd have the magic mechanics came in through like a side door, if you like, We'll do the same kind of things. We'll include things like summons and magic expansions and things like that. There'll be plugins that they'll build on the basic rules and kind of add complexity. Like I say, the plan through all of this is to be able to kind of take it to a tournament scene. So we want like we'll run like tournaments with like prizes and stuff like that. Get people involved wanting to play. So I think getting a physical buy-in from people to kind of want them to engage in the game is going to be quite important to the success of it. So we've got to cross our fingers and hope we can pull it off. Turds. There's a lot of faffing around this one. Thank you, Hut. Appreciate that. Yeah, I've been doing miniatures for a long time now. So I started painting them back in the late 80s, so 34 years ago. This hand looks so badly deformed, but it's obviously it's hidden by the armour on the fingers, so you're not really going to see that much of it. Oops, let's just invert that mask. Let's get this thumb bent round. Just do that now. Yeah, I absolutely love ZBrush. It's one of the things that kind of makes this a joy for me. So there's a lot of hang on. There's obviously there are other options you can use with sculpting. But for me, like ZBrush is one of those things it's been so intuitive since I ever picked it up. I don't think I'd want to switch to anything else. They've been doing the free upgrades as well for ages now. So I think I first picked it up in 2010. I paid about £700 for it, and I haven't had to spend any more money on it ever since. You know what I mean? It's been like just a one-off purchase for me. And that's fantastic, but I don't think Maxon are doing that now. I think you have to get it on like the subs. And I'll be honest, I don't even care if they stop doing updates on it, as long as they don't like disable it or anything like that. But like the updates, the free updates have been fantastic. But like I feel like all the functionality I ever need is now in the software already. So like if they add to it after this point now, I'm not feeling like I'll get anything else out of it. Like the last few updates, I've kind of got excited about various things, but just never used them. The physics they added in, so they added I can't remember what it's called now, dynamic something or other. But yeah, but it's basically just like a physics engine within ZBrush, so you can do like drapery on cloths and stuff like that on cloth. But I don't like the way it looks for miniatures. It doesn't feel right, and whenever I've seen it used, it kind of looks like you're trying to, you get the kind of the look that you're after in like a Renaissance painting or something like that, if you do like cloth drapery and that. And that's fine if that's the look you're going for, but again, like I say, for miniatures, it's not really what I would want. And I prefer doing all of like the hand sculpted folds in the fabric and all that kind of business to get that real that real nice like visual aesthetic done. That you're looking at a miniature, if that makes sense. because the style and the stylisation of it is a huge part of the art for me, and it's the difference between making miniatures and just making models. Oops. Yeah, I'd love to see more people making proper miniatures instead of just making models that they tell you to 3D print and that. Blender's good. I used to use Blender a lot, but again, one of the updates from ZBrush, it added this thing called what was it now? Z Modeler. Added a Z Modeler tool in there, and for me, Z Modeler made my Blender use redundant. And then things like H Polish and Trim Dynamic and the different tools, along with Dynamesh, all came along, and you can now do all the hard surface stuff in ZBrush really easily, without having to kind of go outside. And it was, what's going on? Oh, it's one of those things that was, it made such a drastic change to my work speed and stuff, to not have to transfer from one program to another. I could just do everything natively in ZBrush now, everything I want to do working in the way I want to work. So I absolutely love it. It's perfect for me in the way I work. But obviously different people have different techniques and things like that, and it's not going to work for everyone, but definitely works for me. Well, at least the way I want to work anyway. Right, let's just pull that piece of armour out there. So I'm just going to move topology, isolate that. I'm just going to polish the back out there because I've got a bit of a funny shape. I think I've pulled it while I've been working on it. So it shouldn't have like these rounded edges and stuff. Right, so we now got one clenched fist that is going to be around a sword. Let me go grab that sword again from the correct model, ideally. Copy and paste. Just line that through. Let's position that so it's where I want the middle of his hand to be. Just going to fatten the blade up a touch. Just widen that out, and hopefully on there now. Right, there we go. So he's got his sword, he's got his a wider stance. Let's get his other arm now. Now I'm going to split this arm off because I want to deal with these fingers I spent a lot of time faffing around with the fingers on the previous one. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to split the whole arm off with all the bits I want. I'm going to split hidden there, and then on this one I'm just going to remove the hand. Just delete it because I don't want it. So I can delete hidden there. Okay. So come back to this arm now. Right, so I'm gonna leave the shoulder pad quite high up like that because I don't want the shoulder pad going too far back. Just isolate that now. Just keep the arm. I'm going to bring the arm forward and out a touch. Just going to isolate the upper arm, mask it above the elbow. And we're going to just bend the arm from there. I'll relocate the thing into the elbow. Just going to rotate the hand upwards like that. Okay. Now I'm going to have yeah, it's definitely got a Disney vibe about him. This is me trying to do more of like an anime styling to match the artwork. So you can see the character in the corner of the screen. A couple of chats I had with Max about the guy. We wanted to try and maintain the kind of the anime looking aesthetic. I've got a feeling I'm going to end up taking this guy's head off in a second though, and just doing a little bit of reworking on his face. The beard definitely is a little bit too OTT. So I might end up taking that off yet. And the hair, there's something definitely wrong with the hair, but I can't quite pinpoint it at the moment. So I was going to position him first, get the cape on to give him a bit of movement. So I'm going to put some billowing and wind in there, and then once I've got the cape in place, I'm going to have to do a little bit of something to make it work for me. But I don't know what at the moment. Yeah, I get a bit of Kingdom Hearts from this guy, which isn't a bad thing. Good game. But it's not quite what we're after. Okay, right. I've changed my mind about something else. Right, let's just twist his hand. I'm going to do a little bit less posing on this one, just because he's going to have a crystal in his hand, I think.